Welcome back to The Foundry by Forge College. Man, I am so glad you're here today. In our last lesson, we successfully conquered assembling the enhanced Hello World contract. You built it, it works, and honestly, it's a gorgeous piece of engineering. But today, well, we're going to ask a slightly more terrifying question. What happens when a million users suddenly hit that exact same contract all at once? Spoiler alert, without the right architecture, you're going to experience that sinking feeling every developer absolutely dreads. I'm talking red dashboard lights, Discord flooding with angry messages, and your RPC nodes practically begging for mercy, all because you didn't anticipate Web3 scale. So, right now, we're diving deep into the scalability fundamentals for Solana dApps. This is a massive, absolutely crucial part of your journey in our dApp design principles on Solana course inside the Building dApps on Solana track. Okay, let's just jump right in. Here's our engineering blueprint for this explainer. We're going to cover scaling beyond Hello World, the train track mental model, 3 core scalability levers, fixing the high-load auction, sharding and optimistic aggregation, and finally, our key takeaways. The goal? To architect highly scalable dApps without causing any spontaneous locomotive combustion. All right, part 1, scaling beyond Hello World and preparing for high load. So, you've isolated your critical flows in your design draft. Great. But now we have to map those interface decisions directly onto Solana's actual execution model and its strict resource limits. And this is often a huge hurdle for developers coming over from traditional Web 2 backgrounds. In Web 2, if things get slow, you might just throw a load balancer and a beefier database at the problem. But in Web 3, the fundamental bridge between your beautiful design and actual runtime performance is distinguishing exactly what must run in sequence versus what can safely run in parallel. It really all comes down to asking one critical question. Which transactions are fighting for the exact same accounts? If you get this wrong, your dApp won't just be a little slow. It'll literally grind to a halt. Let's move on to the second part to see how this builds into a concept that's much easier to visualize. This is the train track mental model for parallel execution. To understand how Solana schedules transactions without getting completely bogged down in heavy runtime jargon, we're going to use a train track analogy. Imagine your transactions are trains, and the accounts they interact with are the track segments. Account contention happens when multiple trains, so your transactions, need exclusive access to the exact same single track segment, your account, at the exact same millisecond. Just picture trying to force 10 high-speed bullet trains through a single-track tunnel at the exact same millisecond. That is account contention in a nutshell. And yeah, it is every bit as disastrous as it sounds. When 2 transactions try to write to the same shared ledger account, the network scheduler steps in as the traffic controller. It essentially says, whoa, hold on, only one train on this track at a time, and forces them to wait their turn. That single-track segment becomes a massive bottleneck during peak traffic. If every single user is trying to update one global counter, your throughput will completely collapse. And let me tell you, that is the exact moment users start roasting you on Twitter for failed transactions. Your support channel catches fire, and your supposedly blazing fast app suddenly feels like a 90s dial-up connection. But think about the flip side. If your transactions reference disjoint, entirely separate sets of writable accounts, it's like opening up a sprawling, multi-lane railway. The scheduler looks at it, sees absolutely zero conflict, and lets all those trains depart simultaneously on parallel tracks. This right here, this is the magic of the Solana runtime environment. By just structuring your accounts so they don't overlap, you unlock massive parallel processing. It's how you maximize throughput and keep your users blissfully unaware of the heavy engineering happening under the hood. Okay, moving right along to section 3, the 3 core scalability levers. Think of this as the actual physics of our rail network. So what actually dictates how many trains can leave the station at once? Well, there are 3 primary levers that strictly limit your scale. First up, shared writable accounts. This leads to account contention, which forces transactions to serialize. Again, this is basically lining up trains one by one at a single railroad crossing. Second, complex computation. This eats up compute units. Think of these as super heavy, slow-moving cargo trains carrying tons of freight. They take way longer to clear the track, so fewer transactions can physically fit into a block. And third, large data footprints. This chews up bandwidth and deserialization time. It's kind of like trying to stuff an oversized, awkwardly shaped shipment into a tiny boxcar. It just creates higher latency because the network has to work so much harder to read and write your massive data structures. So here's your crucial 3-step blueprint. Number 1, minimize contention by keeping writable accounts completely separate. Number 2, reduce compute by keeping your on-chain logic incredibly light. Seriously, move all that non-essential heavy math totally off-chain. And number 3, shrink your data footprint. Keep your account data compact and efficient. If you master these 3 golden rules of Solana development, you are going to save yourself thousands of dollars in headaches, avoid those rush hour collisions entirely, and build a dramatically more resilient application. All right, let's put this theory to the test. Section 4, Fixing the High Load Auction. Let's stress test this system. We're going to test our blueprint against a real-world high-load scenario. This might look super familiar if you've done an early design draft for a high-frequency auction. So here's how a naive design flows. Step 1, a bidder submits a bid. Step 2, the transaction writes to the auction's single highest bid account. Step 3, the finalizer settles the auction. Sounds completely logical, right? It's usually exactly how Web 2 developers first approach Web 3, bringing over those deeply ingrained relational database habits. But remember our trains. In this naive design, every single bidder is trying to write to that one highest bid account at the exact same millisecond.
And that is exactly why it fails. That naive design acts as a single track hotspot, where throughput just absolutely collapses. When hundreds of users bid simultaneously, they all get jammed up waiting for that single account to unlock. Your users are going to experience massive lag, transactions will constantly time out, and frankly, you're leaving the front door wide open to MEV bots who will ruthlessly front-run your actual legitimate users. To build a truly scalable design, we absolutely have to upgrade our railway layout from a single track to partitioned bid buckets. This gives us multiple parallel tracks to easily handle the surge.
Let's hit Section 5 to see exactly how we pull that off: sharding and optimistic aggregation. It is time to re-engineer those tracks. To fix this impending train crash, we can apply 2 incredibly powerful architectural patterns. The first one is account sharding. So instead of everyone writing to one massive account, each bid goes to its own temporary track. This is basically a partitioned bucket keyed by the bidder's address or maybe a specific time slice. Because these are entirely separate tracks, thousands of bids can execute in parallel without waiting on each other for even a fraction of a microsecond. Then, later on, a separate, highly optimized combiner process sweeps through. You can schedule this process to run periodically, systematically sweeping up those temporary tracks and safely merging them into the final summary state, all without ever disrupting the main flow of your users' incoming bids. The second pattern is optimistic aggregation. This is essentially batching your cargo offsite first. You collect and validate all the incoming bids off-chain using an aggregator service. Instead of sending thousands of individual trains straight to the network, you just load the absolute highest winning bids onto a single, highly efficient train and submit one clean on-chain transaction. This drastically reduces on-chain traffic and saves enormous amounts of compute. Now, it's kind of like telling the user, yep, we got your bid, while frantically running the paperwork to the blockchain in the background. Because of this, you absolutely must design your user interface to show provisional pending confirmations. That way the user knows their bid was received locally while they wait for that on-chain batch to fully finalize. Which brings us to our final section, key takeaways and next steps. Time for the final inspection of our dApp architecture. Let's do a quick review of our blueprint rules before we wrap up today's explainer. First, audit your critical flows to ruthlessly eliminate shared writable accounts. Next, strip out heavy compute like your dApp's life depends on it, because it kind of does. Also, make sure your user interface gracefully handles the latency of batch transactions using eventual consistency. Seriously, don't ever leave your users staring at a blank, unresponsive screen. Show them a friendly pending state. And finally, always benchmark your hot paths under simulated load before deploying to mainnet. Don't just guess. Throw a massive stress testing script at a DevNet cluster and watch exactly how your design performs when it is pushed to the absolute limit. Now that you thoroughly understand the fundamental constraints governing scalability, your next step in this module is translating them into actual instruction designs. And that is exactly what we are going to cover in our next lesson, Resource-Efficient Design Patterns for Solana dApps. I'm going to leave you with this final, slightly provocative thought. Look back at the Hello World contract you built in the last lesson. Ask yourself right now, is your critical flow a fragile single track just waiting for a disastrous collision? Or is it a beautifully scalable multi-lane railway ready for 1 million users? Take a second to really think about that. All right, now head over to forge.college to dive deeper into this subject and explore our incredible range of other Web3 topics. Keep building, keep scaling, and I will see you in the next explainer.